Shalom, Akim, and Akwat. This is your brother, Rawchaa, with another lesson. But before I get started, I would like to give all praises to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Qadash. I would like to give double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, the water, for sharing your knowledge and experience with this truth. And I also would like to give a shout out to the brothers that I camp with. Please visit their pages and subscribe to get further edified. Today's lesson will be basically a response to one of the brothers, Yasharala. He put out a lesson the other day entitled Robotic Police Force, in which I will put into the description so you can go back and see his video that he put together. It's very edifying. But after he put the video together, some more information that came out that I would like to go into today. We are currently in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there was an article that came out by our governor, Governor Stent, talking about how he's going to set up his new AI task force. The Governor Stent of Oklahoma, he wants to launch a task force to explore AI benefits for Oklahoma. Governor Stent has announced the creation of a task force to study the uses and benefits of artificial intelligence. According to the governor's office, this is a step towards modernizing and streamlining state governments to make sure it works better for all of Oklahoma. He's basically putting a task force together in order to improve the way AI is implemented into the state of Oklahoma. But one of the things that make this move he's doing particular, and personally I think that all of the governors from all of the states are probably doing this, but you know, since we live in Oklahoma, I'm just going to cover our state because it's one thing that's going on within the state of Oklahoma that makes this more intriguing, and that's the fact that the University of Tulsa has received a $3.75 million grant from the Army in order to enhance AI and VR technology.
The University of Tulsa is expanding its cyber studies work with 3 new robots.
They'll work with students on a project for the Army. News on 6's Emery Bryan is live with this story. Emery?
Well, the Army has given the University of Tulsa some money to test out robotic dogs and their capabilities for both the virtual and real worlds. It's common to see robots at the University of Tulsa. This one delivers food. This one mows the grass. Dogs are there too, but this is the first robot dog at TU. It's named Crypto, and another one is Hopper, the one with an arm. PhD student Dallas Elliman is learning to use it.
This is the part where we test all of its joints to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to be.
TU has 3 of them for use in a cybersecurity program with funding from the Army.
The robotic dogs will be used to communicate with the environment to see if there's anything malicious going on, and then they can also actuate in the environment to control that.
The dogs are new, so while they can do some tricks like get past the trash can and pick up the bottle, jobs like open the door don't always go perfectly, and the robot makes mistakes. But that's all part of learning for both the students and the machines.
Some of it's machine learning or artificial intelligence, others is programming and human control.
TU plans to build a virtual reality studio where students can control the robots from a distance and test the ability to patrol a cyber world and look for virtual threats. They can also carry instruments into dangerous places where people would be at risk. The new additions to the campus have already upstaged their less interactive predecessors, and the research is just getting started on the possibilities. Each of the robotic dogs cost $140,000 or more. The university figures the investment is worth it. Besides the educational value, there's extra research dollars that will come this way. The research now, the $3.7 million research grant is just for 18 months of research. Reporting live at TU, Emery Bryan, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Tulsa University has received $3.7 million to study robotics, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality. It says the advanced robotics, virtual reality, and drones are some of the futuristic technologies that the University of Oklahoma will investigate thanks to the $3.75 million awarded from the U.S. Army. But if you look down further into the article, it says both AI and VR technology will be utilized in TU's grant-funded program, along with sensors that can measure various environmental properties, including occupancy, temperature, humidity, light, and gas levels. All of this seems innocent on the surface, but if you look further into it, it comes off far more ominous with what's going on with the research that the Tulsa University is getting into. If you look at the article, you can see that they're trying to improve these robots with AI and VR technology in order to improve its capabilities, you know, in order to enhance, in my opinion, to make these robots more useful during a time of Jacob's trouble. If you can see in the article, it says that they're going to include occupancy, temperature, humidity, light, and gas levels. On the surface, that sounds innocent. If you look further into it, the fact that they're going to enhance the robot's ability for occupancy, essentially, they're going to give their robots the ability to tell if, if how many people was inside your house, is how I'm reading that. By using the temperature, infrared, they can have these robots pull up to the front of your house and essentially scan your house and be able to tell how many people is in the house, you know, who's armed, you know, what kind of weapons you got, you know, it's gonna be able to monitor humidity, light, and gas levels. Essentially, all of the things that they probably plan on introducing into your house as far as, gas bangs, humidity and the gas. They can send in, their flares and all this. Essentially, they're going to enhance these robots' ability to come in and clear your house, sort of like a SWAT team would do. But in order to make it more safe for the humans, because like one of the points my brother Tay Yasharala made in his video, there are not enough of them to control everybody. So they're going to have to level the playing field. And the way that they're going to be doing this is through this AI, robotic, and VR technology. So they can stand back and perform these jobs of coming through and clearing houses, remotely so that they can stay safe. Because in America, there's so many guns in our communities that to have someone come up to each and every door is going to be a threat. They will, in a very short time, run out of bodies to fill those jobs. So they have to go to the robotics. To me, this is going to be essentially their second stage because they're going to come with the UN troops. And then when the UN troops lose their effectiveness with coming and basically monitoring the public, then they're going to break out these robots. I would like to read Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. As we come closer and closer to Yahawashi cracking the sky and coming in to be a savior to us, Esau knows that his time is running out, that day is fastly approaching, and he's trying to get his game together in order to fight off Yahawashi and the angels and to be able to stay on top of things. Esau does not want to give up the crown. He wants to stay on top. And in order to do that, he's going to come in with some draconian measures to basically lock down the world in order for him to fulfill his self, proclaimed prophecies that, he's going to rule forever. The lesson that was put out by Tay Yasharala, that I'm doing this response to, he basically outlined that these are going to be the robots that they're introducing into New York to patrol all of the subway stations. As you can see, they do look innocent. They just basically look like some sort of new ATM machine. But you can see they got cameras on board. Everything that you can see is basically non-lethal. They're saying that they know it has some type of microphone, and they claim that it's not going to be scanning people. It's not going to do facial recognitions and all that. But that's basically, like Tay outlined, is basically to get the population used to having these robots around, making them non-threatening and more acceptable to be able to patrol the community. But when things get thick, Esau is going to switch up the robots. Like Tay outlined, they got the laws in place, and then they're going to introduce those, friendly robots to get us, able to accept that those laws are in place and not fight. But then when it's time to gain control, they're going to break out the ones in the bulletproof vest and with the guns. It's going to be having a more threatening stance to them. And with these robots coming in, this is when they're going to start to gain control of the population, or at least the part of the population that doesn't, accept the New World Order, that doesn't accept the Michael C. Hip and plan on, fighting to the death, because there's going to be a lot of bloodshed in America when they start to lock this place down. And it's not going to be a place that you want to be in without being without being covered by Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi, and the promises that he gave us. Because as you can see, they got the nice cuddly version of the humanoid robots too. They got them at the game, get people used to seeing, robots, even though they look human. And from the story that I heard, that these were actually actors in robot costumes, but I don't see that. I think that they're real because of the size of them. They're not that big. If you can look at the people in the back, you know, they would have to be some really thin people to be into these costumes. I think that they're actually the real deal, but by saying that they're humans in them, people will start to think that, this is normal. But if just looking at this picture, it doesn't seem like it's a human in those to me. I think that those are actually the real robots. They just want to see how close they can get these to people without people really freaking out. Even though people had stated that it was very, um, it was, strange to be around them, but the people, they have no problem with this version of the robots because of the fact that they're trying to make it blend in to their bread and circuses, or you know, as we say today, a football game. But essentially, this is what a great example of bread and circuses is. They put on a show, you know, let you feed on all of the stuff from the concession stands, get you fat and happy, and then show you the things that they want you to accept. You know, you can see the people in the background, they don't have a problem being around these robots because, they're one thing, they're distracted by the fact that it's a football game coming on, but then, they're able to go and get their concession stands and go on about their day because these robots that they're showing, they're not threatening. But if they showed up with these robots, everybody would have a problem with it. That's what they're doing, their gradualism into the fact that one day these are going to be the robots that they're basically coming out with. And I have a few videos that I want to show you that basically, you know, the things that they're showing you all nice and cuddly, there's another version in the background that they haven't brought out yet. And these videos essentially is Esau showing his hand. But even these robots that I'm about to show you, they're way better versions of these robots in the background. These are just the ones that he wants to just show us. But you all know that the ones that have the top secret clearance that you don't get to see those. Not yet, but we will in a very short time. And before I start the video, I'd like to read Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Even though these robots that I'm about to show you come off threatening, if you are the hopeful elect, we will be protected in that day. It's no reason for us to fear anything that Esau has, you know, for us or what he plans on doing to us, because Yahawah Yahawashi is going to come, to our rescue. He's going to fulfill the promises that were outlined within these scriptures. As you can see, you know, in the video at the Tulsa University, they showed the little cute one, yellow one, looked like a school bus, non-threatening. But then they're going to break out the ones like this, you know. Look at how it's moving. A lot faster, chasing cars down and all that. Look, it's able to hook up to electronics, all of the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth stuff, all of the smart gadgets you have around you. It's going to be able to, connect to all that stuff. It's even driving this car, if you've ever seen this version. Look, it's able to pick up a Gensu. These robots that Esau is creating ain't going to be playing with you. It's going to do its thing. And and people think that this is was a movie and all that. It ain't true. But I'm gonna show you in other videos that hey, this is the real deal. Look, it's got a pistol. Of course, it's gonna show it kill Jake, because that's what the real purpose of these robots are. Look, it's able to track you down like an animal to ensure that it completes its mission. You need to ask somebody. Esau is ready. It's a reason why we need a savior. It's a reason why Yahawashi is coming back to get us. Now, these right here, these are the prototypes of the ones that Esau is actually working on. It's a lot bigger version of it. But as you can see, this thing is on a treadmill and it's running. And to give you a point of reference on how fast this thing is running, when Usain Bolt broke the 100-meter dash record, he, at his top speed, was only going 23 miles per hour. And this thing is running up to 28 miles an hour. Just imagine that coming at you while it's shooting a gun at you. You're going to have issues trying to get away from this thing. Esau is putting his plan in order. He's trying to hold on to control by all means. And if you don't have Yahawah Yahawashi in your corner, you're going to have problems with Esau when Jacob's trouble gets full blown. Look, this thing is running 28 miles an hour. You ain't got no chance. And this right here, they got this thing working on this agility too. Although it's only jumping over something that's probably no higher than 2 feet, you know that they got this thing jumping over cars and everything else now, the actual version of it. With this thing running 28 miles an hour and being able to jump over obstacles, you're going to have very few options if you caught out there slipping when Esau comes in like a flood, for sure. Like I said earlier, he got these robots, that's watching the game, non-threatening, so that you can get used to them, so that you accept the fact that we have robots walking around amongst us. Then all of a sudden, you're going to have this thing coming up to your door, ready to get busy. Like I'm saying, they gonna already know how many people in the house, where you hiding at, what type of weapon you got. And this thing gonna come in ready to handle his business, you know. And this probably the prototype, probably a couple versions back. The ones that they got, they gonna probably look more human than the ones that were at that football game. You know what I'm saying? Look, this mother on his back hitting target. They got this thing going through all kind of changes, and it's still letting off. And as you can see, it's got probably like laser sighting. It ain't missing nothing. It's handling his business. He can grab the gauge. Look, this motherfucker is getting down. Esau got his little gang tight, but it ain't gonna be shit when my people show up. Cause Yahawashi coming to see Esau and all this little trickery that they putting. Cause this right here is his magic. And you can see they got the robot already programmed to not shoot Edomites. You know, they talking about they don't have facial recognition. You know, that's a lot, for sure. Look, this thing know not to shoot no Edomite. Look, it's letting off. Check this out. These are little robots right here that they got at TU. This is what they actually in the back room training this thing to do, to work alongside these little dog robots in order to round Jake up. You're going to have very few options in the last days. The only thing that you can count on in those last days is going to be Yahawah Yahawashi. The only thing that's going to be able to keep you in the faith is the knowledge of these scriptures. As you can see, this thing that picked up the little dog robot and jumped off the cliff and then broke left. Look, C3PO is on the good foot. Yeah, I would like to read Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And the wiles of the devil is his strategy. You know, you can see that Esau is putting together what he think is going to be a winning strategy. But as long as you have the full armor of God, and that armor is these scriptures, you have your time now during the grace period in order to study, to show yourself approved, in order to get as much as knowledge that you can get inside your head, so that when, you know, there is going to be a famine of the word, you know, and if you are one of the unfortunate brothers that have to go into one of these FEMA camps, they ain't gonna let you take no Bible with you, for sure, if they don't kill you for having one. But you're not gonna have any reference material. Right now is your time that you need to get as close as possible to this word, in order that you have enough of it inside you that you'll be able to pull that knowledge out and be able to keep your faith, so that you can endure to the end. Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Exactly. Like I said earlier, the 144,000, once they get activated, hopefully I'm one of them, but there are going to be brothers that's going to receive spiritual power. And all of these things that Esau is getting in place in order to, one, is kill as many of the Israelites that don't take, you know, the C-hip, to kill as many of us as possible, and give, you know, Yahawah Shem and Yahawashi no reason to come back. He wants to kill off the remnant. But it's nothing that he's going to be able to do if, you know, once the 144,000 gets their spiritual power, you know, once, you know, he realizes that he's not going to be able to break the hopeful elect, because the hopeful elect is going to be under protection of the Most High. And we're going to be the ones that are saved when Yahawashi cracks the sky. And hopefully, like I stated earlier just now, hopefully I'm fortunate enough to be one of those people, because man, I can't wait to get busy. You know, it's going to be a whole bunch of brothers out here that can't wait to get busy. And like a lot of the brothers say, man, I'm gonna jump over these Edomites to get at these ignorant 2/3 first, because the judgment is gonna begin in the house of the Lord. And the reason why this whole thing is taking so long is because of the fact that these ignorant 2/3 is prolonging the process. Even though the spirits that are gonna receive salvation was chosen, before the formation of the world, these ignorant 2/3 are the ones that's standing in the way of the few, hopefully elect, that's going to eventually come into the fold. You know, it's going to be people that's going to come in the last hour. They're going to come in that last hour, like the parable of the penny. You know, we're the ones, we're coming in the noonday to start work and get closer as we can and repent to the Most High. But there are going to be people in the last hour that's going to come in and do the work and get this spiritual awareness of who they are, and they're going to turn back and repent. But at the end of the day, we all going to receive that one penny, which is salvation. I hope that this lesson was edifying. Like I said, it was a response to the video from my brother Tay Yasharala. Like I said, I will put the link to his video in the description so you can go back and see, because of the fact that there's a lot more to go into this subject. But between the lesson that Tay put out and my response, hopefully that this was edifying. And until next time, Shalom.